You are now in the arena. Welcome to Gridiron, presented by Underdog. Woo, woo! As always, you guys, use code GRID and support the show when you are using Underdog and Underdog, the app. My name is Kinsey, and I am your host, and I'm with my boys. These guys love football so much that they talk football up until the show starts. So we're going to continue that. They were literally like, okay, be quiet. So we're going to continue that today. I'm with one of the most prolific figures in the history of sports media and the man who's never lost a debate, Skip Bayless. Yep. Super Bowl champion, 5-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro cornerback, Aqib, Talib. Woo. You love that little doll.
Yeah, I do.
And then, of course, our quarterback, top 5 passer in the USC Trojans and California's own quarterback, Cody Kessler. Okay, last night we had a crazy doubleheader, and so shocking Bills loss. Chicago pulling out the win with a game-winning field goal, and so we have so much to talk about today, of course, with those two games. And then we're going to be talking about some drama with Tua and some Mike Tomlin comments, so we have a crazy, amazing show. One thing that we missed yesterday that you were dying to talk about, so we're going to dive right into that, is the Browns lose once again, this time to the Steelers 23-9, and Dillon did throw for 221 yards, no touchdowns though. Obviously, you have a tough defense with the Steelers. He was hit 16 times. So, Cody, did Dillon Gabriel do enough to keep his job?
It's tough because Dillon Gabriel's not playing bad right now, by any means. He's not playing bad football. For it only being his second start, going to Pittsburgh, playing against that Steelers defense, I thought he did some things well. And I thought he handled the environment, the elements well. But he also had some issues and some things that he needs to fix. I just don't know if he can fix them. And that's my biggest concern right now. But I want to start with the positives. I thought he did a good job of playing with better anticipation. He made some really good throws over the middle of the field into some tight windows. He was comfortable and in rhythm with quick game. His footwork looked really good with quick game. When he got to those 3- and 5-step drops out of gun and going through progression, he started struggling a little bit, so he's got to clean that up. His accuracy wasn't great, but the receivers for the Browns didn't help him. They have to be better at catching some of those throws, especially when he's taking the hits he is and he puts them on the money. You've got to help out your young rookie quarterback. That's a tough place to be in when you're taking a shot and you're throwing a ball that you think is going to be completed and then it's dropped and now you're sitting at 3rd and 10. But overall, I thought he did a good job of standing in there, taking those hits, and playing decent in this game. But now when you look at some of the negatives on film and the things that he needs to get corrected, the first one for me is the decision-making. If you look at the stat sheet, he has 0 interceptions, but you can't just look at that. You have to watch the film. In this game, he had no turnovers, but he had way too many turnover-worthy throws. And the Steelers were not capitalizing on these balls that they had opportunities on. At least probably 4 interceptions in this game that they should have had. So you can't just look at the stat sheet and say, all right, well, he's not turning the football over. No, he's making some throws that you can't make in these type of situations, especially on the road and especially as a rookie on an offense that's struggling to move the football. The second thing, he has to do a better job of protecting his receivers and his tight ends. There were too many times in this game to where he had Njoku or other guys going over the middle and he's leading them into hits. And I know as a receiver and as a tight end, I'm going to get hit sometimes. That's going to happen. I know that I'm going to go over the middle. There's a lot of bodies in there. I'm going to catch the ball for you and I'm going to take a hit. But I need to trust that you're going to protect me. And what I mean by that is if there's a safety coming downhill, throw it a little bit lower. Let him go down, throw it to that front hip, protect him. Throw it away from the defender instead of into the defender. And he did it too many times, and that leads to injuries. And if that keeps happening as a receiver and as a tight end and you're doing that over and over, I'm not going to want to play with you anymore. I'm not going to want to play for you, and I'm not going to trust that you're going to protect me, and you're going to hurt my money and my career because I'm going to start getting injured. So he has to fix that. But the last thing and the most concerning right now that he needs to get corrected is the Browns are way too predictable on offense right now when it comes to throwing the football. I said this 2 weeks ago. I've been saying it over and over. They have no vertical passing threat right now. They have to find an element of explosiveness through the air right now because if they don't have that, Aqib knows as a DB, as a defense, I'm just going to sit in the ground and keep my feet in the ground, and I'm just going to jump every single route, and I'm just going to make you go dink and dunk all the way down the field, and I have no threat of you throwing the ball over the top. Gabriel threw the ball 52 times in this game for only 220 yards passing. That's not good enough. He had more completions by his arm strength, but right now in the NFL, it's not translating. And it's not. It's still early. It's 2 games. I don't know if you can come to a conclusion on Dillon Gabriel, but I just don't think he has a high end to build off of.
I don't think he did enough to keep his job at all. It was very trash, in my opinion. You say he playing good. I don't know what tape we watched.
I said he's not. No, I said he's not playing bad.
Oh,
I
okay.
said he's doing
Not
some good
playing
things.
bad translates to playing good.
Not playing
To me.
bad.
He's not
Yeah,
playing bad enough to lose it.
That's just what I heard. I heard you say he was playing good.
Okay.
So from what I watched, he lost the game, first of all. Everybody know that. You scored 9 points. You had a QBR at 33, down from 38. So it was worse than the last week.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I watched it again this morning. I counted 10 throws that I was like, all right, them pretty good throws. 10 out of 52, though. You know what I'm saying? It was 10 out of 52.
Yep.
I agree.
And 3 of them was on third down, so I give him that. And how many interceptions you say was interceptable ball?
At least 4. I gave him the benefit of the doubt.
I counted 6.
Okay.
Like, there's no way Pittsburgh didn't lead that game with 3 interceptions. There's no way. It was, I don't know if it's the left hand spin. He doing something right. That's what he do best. You make the ball hard to catch for the defense because they could not catch your balls at all. You know what I'm saying?
So you would have caught 3 of those, right?
I don't know. I never put it all on Stefanski.
Yeah.
It looked real scary to me. Put it all on Stefanski.
Yeah.
It looked real scary to me. I said give him 4 games, but
You're gonna bump that down?
shit, I might go right now. Like before the trade, we got to see something. Let's see what Shedeur got with this team before we break it up and trade everybody. The trade deadline is coming soon. You gonna trade some of these guys, and it's gonna happen. So you might as well let Shedeur rock while you got this group. You know what I'm saying? Let him rock with this group before you trade some of your linemen or something like that. So I don't know. It's very bad in my opinion. It's very scary. You say you don't know if he could be an NFL quarterback. I don't either. So.
This is just me. I'm not objective. I disqualify myself when it comes to Shedeur, but I would have thrown Shedeur into the dumpster fire in the 4th quarter because the game was way over. Dillon Gabriel he's a great kid and he tries hard. And the best thing I can say about Dillon Gabriel is that he's not bad. That's damning with faint praise, right? He's not bad. That's what you'll always say about Dillon Gabriel is he's not bad. Shedeur can be great if you give him a shot. Shedeur would have ignited the sideline and the huddle if thrown into the fray, even at Pittsburgh. And I completely respect what you have to say about it's not his game plan, and he's not getting reps, and blah, blah. I get all that. He's just a very special kid, and I know his father very well, and his father raised him to be a starting quarterback in the National Football League. He was raised around stars and superstars. It's just in his blood. If you give him a chance, he will seize the opportunity and he will run with it because he just built that way. No stage will be too big for him, even at Pittsburgh against that defense, even if you just thrown him into the dumpster fire in the 4th quarter. You say, that's not fair. It's Shedeur. And you would see right away the energy would go up in the huddle because they all know they're playing not to lose with Dillon Gabriel. And I feel sorry for Dillon Gabriel, and you and we're rooting against him. And I like him as a kid because he's a really good kid. But as a football player, as a quarterback in this predicament of a situation, I'm rooting against Radar because he knows once Shedeur gets his foot in that door, look out. Because there's going to be an avalanche of national publicity and national runaway expectation that Shedeur is going to be the guy. And he should be now. He should be starting now. But, here's Stefanski's answer the other day. Why didn't you give Shedeur a shot in the 4th quarter? And he won't even speak Shedeur's name. He never refers to the question about Shedeur with saying Shedeur's name. And Stefanski said of Dillon Gabriel, we know he's tough. He's going to keep fighting. Okay, I get it. He's a tough kid, mentally tough. I don't know about physically. Shedeur is mentally and physically tough. Much tougher to me. I saw it at Jackson State and at Colorado. Shedeur took an unholy physical beating for 2 years at Colorado because they couldn't protect him. And he would hang on to the ball only to try to hit the home run for his dad. Like he knew they were up against it in some games, and I got to hold it and hope somebody can break free, sometimes Travis, for a deep ball. And if they get me, they get me. And if they rock me, they rock me. But listen, that kid in college, he would jump up. He would take the most wicked shot in the pocket. He just jumps right back up like, here we go again. We're going to do it again. And I, people would say, well, he's a spoiled kid. He was raised rich. He was raised rich, but he ain't no spoiled kid.
Right.
He doesn't act like a spoiled kid on the football field.
Right.
He's a tough kid. He looks like he's from the toughest neighborhood you could ever imagine. He just got that in his blood. His father's a tough guy. I don't care what you say. They said Deion couldn't tackle. Baloney. Deion, when it was time to get somebody on the ground, he got him on the ground. He would make a business decision occasionally, but then I watched him closely. When it was time to make a tackle on 3rd and 2, he'd come up and make a tackle. It's smart toughness. It's knowing what has to get done kind of toughness. So if you're trying to back Dillon Gabriel because he's a tough kid, we know he's going to keep fighting. You don't think Shedeur will keep fighting?
Right.
Just give him a shot, man. So everything, your breakdown, they're dead on because look at his yards per attempt. It's 4.3. It's the worst in the NFL over the last 2 weeks.
Very scary.
The worst. It's so low. Like Sam Darnold for the year is 10 yards per attempt, and that leads the NFL because JSN is getting deep. Like he hit the home run to him the other day, and
Browns don't have that threat right now.
Okay, well they could if.
Who knows?
No, I'm not saying they don't have a JSN. I'm saying with Dillon at quarterback,
they don't have that
trust to have that threat right now.
And I told you and I argued about his arm strength. It's okay, but he doesn't have great deep arm strength.
No, it's good when it's in that
the mid range. I know,
intermediate, short yard range, and the quick game in those over the middle throws. But once you start pushing 10, 15, 20, it starts getting off balance, and he starts missing some throws to the right and to the left, and the ball's dying on him. You can't. It's tough to win games with that.
Man, I've just seen enough already. Come on.
The passing yards is up, but 90 of those passing yards came once it was 26-6.
Yeah.
Like now we play softer defense. We give you all this. We let you drive down, and then we lock up and try to give you a field goal. So we play the time. We play the clock once the score gets like that. So, and QBR, no.
That's why QBR
no. Those 80 yards don't even count, man.
I'll say this.
I've seen enough already.
Bad context, and I've seen some bad offenses. I've been a part of some bad offenses. I've seen it firsthand. That's tough right now. And to add more context to your numbers, the Browns are averaging over these 2 games 4 yards per play on offense. And for reference, last year, the Bears were worse in the NFL. They averaged 4.5. So if they keep this up, they will be significantly lower. And the last 21 years, this would be the worst. If this 2-game stretch, if that kept up and they averaged 4 yards per play, that would be the worst in the last 21 years. They just have to get things going. They only averaged 3.3 yards against the Steelers. And you could say, okay, the rushing numbers brought that down. That's not true because their net average yard per rush was more than their net average yards per pass because net takes into account sacks and all of that. But the rushing yards actually helped that 3.3 number. So, and Judkins didn't play his best game in this, and they didn't get the run game going to help, but they got down early. And you can't just run the football when you're down to the Steelers. You got to start throwing it to get back into it, and that's not where they want to live right now with Dillon Gabriel. And I don't know if he's capable of bringing him back in those type of games if they have to rely on his left arm.
Aqib wants him benched now. What do you think?
Look, I'll say this. I still think the bye is the best time to give him those 2 weeks to prepare just because he hasn't got any reps with the ones, and it's tough to throw him into that situation. I hear you, though, Skip. I get what you're saying. Shedeur is different. And look, I don't know if he's the answer in Cleveland. I hope he is. I don't know right now if anybody would be the answer in Cleveland with what's going on offense and that offensive line and everything around them and the organization and what's going on with their coaching staff. But Stefanski is almost coming to the point where he doesn't have a choice. Because I don't know if everybody heard this, but Myles Garrett went to the media after that game and said, I'm tired of losing the same damn way every single week. And to me, that was a direct shot at Kevin Stefanski.
It was.
That was to the offense. That was to everybody on that side of the ball. The Browns are desperate for a spark right now.
Yeah.
And I like Dillon Gabriel, but he doesn't have that moxie and that spark that they need. Shedeur Sanders does. And if you start Shedeur, I promise you that stadium and that team and that offense, whether it goes great or it doesn't, at very least you're going to get the Jackson Dart effect that the Giants
you will.
had
That's a good
in New York, where they said, all right, we got a shot. I believe in this guy.
And you got to do it at home right now. You got a home game.
A winnable home. It's
A
the
winnable
Dolphins.
home
Yeah.
game.
Yep.
If Dillon do play, is the crowd going to come in the game like, if Shedeur plays, it's going to be lit up in there.
Yeah, it will be.
You know what I'm saying?
It will
the
be.
defense going to come flying around. Man, it's the perfect time to start you a little streak if you want to start you a little streak.
Okay, but we all know Stefanski is fighting for his job life by trying to cling to Dillon Gabriel, who was his choice to go forward with, because he took him 50 slots higher than Shedeur went in the 5th round. So Stefanski knows if he gives in to Shedeur, I think he's a goner. You know, like that's going to be the end of him, because he's dug in internally with the owner and the GM that he just wants no part of Shedeur. He doesn't like him. He doesn't like the way he handles himself. He doesn't like the way he carries himself in the locker room and the
Right.
social media and all those things that nobody liked about him, or a lot of NFL people didn't like before the draft. So it's going to take the owner stepping in and saying, it's time. We're going to do this whether you like it or not. And that will mean Stefanski's out of time. And they're going to go. I saw reports all through Sunday night that he's on last rites here. You know, like some
He
people
is.
thought he might be gone this week.
Right.
So but nothing's happened, and I assume they want to stay the course with him for the rest of the year.
Is
But
nobody
man,
worried about Shedeur though? It's a tough environment for a quarterback. The Browns. We all know that. Baker didn't thrive. Nobody thrived in the Browns quarterback environment.
Baker had
So,
some big moments.
Yeah.
He did.
But if Shedeur, people are preying on, like Stefanski's preying on his downfall. If he can't thrive, what happens then for Shedeur?
He just will. I don't have any doubts about it.
I'm a little
But-
nervous for him. It's a
Okay.
tough environment
It's a
to
great
thrive.
situation, though. They got a great run game. They got a good run game.
They do.
They got a great defense.
They do have a great defense.
like
They have a great
It-
defense.
it-
That's what you need as a rookie,
That's
a
what
run
you
game and a
need.
defense.
A
Yeah.
run game and a defense, man. Now we need a quarterback with some winnability, and you will see the results of it. So I think, bad as Cleveland has been in the past, this is a perfect opportunity for a quarterback to hop in and win some games. So
Yeah, and
Okay.
I think with all, and I hear you, but I think context in this situation matters when it comes to Shedeur getting a shot. If Dillon Gabriel was Joe Flacco, or if it was Bailey Zappi playing right now,
Yeah.
if it was a guy that you already knew
Yeah,
a
I
lot
got it.
about, and it
Yeah.
wasn't a rookie, I think the decision would have already been made after this game. I wouldn't say a long time ago, but since Gabriel is their 3rd-round pick, their investment, Stefanski's guy, and you know it's only 2 games into his career, they want to give him a little bit more time to see if he can build off of that. But yeah, it's just I don't know how much more time Stefanski's going to have before
Yeah.
he loses the locker room and potentially his job.
right.
Well, 80% of the chat says Gabriel didn't do enough to keep his job. So
Good.
sounds like a majority of
Go
people
Shedeur.
want him benched.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And
hopefully,
by the way, they have Dolphins at Pats and then bye. So the odds are that this is going to happen in the bye week, but we want to see it now.
Right now.
Yeah.
It could. I mean, it could be.
I won't
It
be
could happen.
surprised if after the show, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make
Wednesday,
real decisions on Tuesday.
You're off
do.
day.
I won't be surprised it's 4:30 coming around and
Yeah.
we see the breaking news. Shedeur light up the internet.
ooh, that would light up the internet. And like you're saying, the stadium would go crazy. They need that kind
Team
of
will
spark.
go crazy.
We'd have to come back in here and restart.
I know.
the show.
We gotta come in on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk a little bit about last night's game, because the only person right about last night's game was Skip Bayless. Woo!
Wait. I thought you guys played football. Didn't you play?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's tricky, Skip.
Yeah.
It's real tricky.
Hey, I didn't see that one
No,
coming.
Yeah.
I was just lucky. I just closed my eyes and picked it.
Well, the Atlanta Falcons lost 30-0 versus the Panthers. Okay, so this is the team we're talking about. And then they go and beat Super Bowl contenders, the Buffalo Bills. So, Aqib, you also had Josh. You were talking yesterday. Josh Allen, you're like MVP.
I
So
wanted him.
he threw 2 picks last night, had 2 fumbles. Tough game. Aqib, how did the Falcons pull off that upset?
I wanted Josh to come out and have a big night. So bad.
So did he.
Like, God,
Sure he did, yeah.
I think the league is just so even right now, man. It's
It is
crazy.
crazy.
It's
crazy
crazy.
how
Yeah, I
even
know.
the league
You're
is
right.
right now. The good
Yeah.
teams is not just
No.
the good teams no more. The bad teams are not just bad right now. So, but how did the Falcons win that game? Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
He came out on fire. Raheem Morris said it after the game, man. He is the best player in the NFL. Hey, I'm starting to believe that shit. Like
Really?
I'm starting to believe it.
Yeah,
man.
we're going to get to that.
Yeah,
whole
super
topic.
we are going to talk about that.
But 240 yards, man, he couldn't be stopped yesterday. Every time the Falcons needed to play, run or pass, he made it. So, and on top of that, Michael Penix Jr., he outplayed Josh Allen last night. He's just flat out outplayed him, man. He found Drake London earlier. He found Bijan when he needed to. He threw the ball on time. He threw the ball on time. He threw the ball very accurately.
He did.
Josh Allen didn't. He missed throws. He held the ball, got sacked. He started his scrambles. He couldn't get out their grasp last night. He got sacked 4 times. Michael Penix Jr. was 40+% on third down.
Yep.
Josh Allen sucked on third down. He was 2 for 9. It was terrible on third down. And then, most importantly, Penix Jr. took care of the ball. 0 turnovers.
Yep.
And Josh Allen, man, you just said it. It was turnover central. You know what I'm saying? So
you
can't
have
go on the road.
Bijan and Michael Penix outplayed Josh Allen, you're saying?
They both
There we
did.
go.
They
And
both
Drake
did.
London.
You
Drake
can't go on the road.
London looked
out. You
You can't go on
nice.
the road and turn the ball over like that and expect
No.
to win the game. So
Didn't you say it was hard to play at the Falcons?
it is. I said it's electric. I thought road teams usually go in there and play great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It sounded like it was half Bills fans last night.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Like it's a great environment to play in.
Yeah.
It's almost like not home field advantage to me. Like,
You know, by the way,
There.
I was
turn
thinking
you up
last
a little
night, when you were a Patriot, didn't you have a big interception there?
man, I went crazy.
crazy. I just
Oh,
remember.
that's what
I'm
you
talking about
said. You were like, I like
crazy.
playing at
like
the Falcons.
you had an
That's a
end
different
zone.
building. That was the Georgia Dome, the Mercedes-Benz.
It was different.
Same
But you
shit
had
to
an
me, though.
end zone interception on the back line. I just remember this.
It was a pass breakup, but it was 4th down.
Okay, yeah.
It was a 4th down for the game, pass breakup. But I did
broke
have an
that.
interception that game, and I did start off following Julio. He tapped out.
Did he?
Then I went to Roddy White.
You made him quit?
They started coming back. This how I know though, Skip, because they started coming back, right?
Yeah.
Julio came back in the game. Like,
okay.
nah, I thought you were hurt, fam.
Yeah.
Came back in the game. I went back to Julio, strapped him again, and on that 4th down, we put the double on Julio.
Yeah.
I went to Roddy Wright 0, and I got that pass breakup. So that's probably one of my best games. When I want to show my kids who Aqib Talib was,
Really?
I put that game on right
Really?
You just put it on,
Yeah.
they're playing.
Watch
You're
this
like, you
game.
seen this?
Okay, so you had Roddy White by yourself,
Yeah.
and he ran like across
like
the
an
back.
over route,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And you know, you know, little pass
Done.
breakup.
Yeah.
Had like 5 pass breakups and then picked that game. That was crazy. One of my favorites.
Way to go.
Yeah, so normally when we talk about these type of games, when the big dogs lose, we normally say, hey, what went wrong with the Bills? Why'd the Bills lose this? They couldn't get out of their own way. That's not the case in this. I got to give love to the Falcons, man. You got to give them their credit. They came into this game, they outcoached them.
Yep.
They outplayed them. They out-schemed them. Their game plan on both sides of the ball was perfect. They did a great job of starting fast. I want to start with the offense, too. And Kinsey just mentioned it. You remember when they lost that game against Carolina 30-0?
30-0.
We started talking, Skip, and
Yeah.
Raheem Morris after that game said, I'm going to move offensive coordinator Zach Robinson from the booth
He did.
down to the field. And you asked me, do I like that? I said, I love that. I think
did.
that is great.
Yeah, good point.
Especially for a young quarterback, because now you get that in-person communication in between series. You can get on the tablet together, go through the film, instead of having to pick up the phone and talk to them for 30 seconds, and then you sit down with your quarterback coach. You have that connection, and you can make real in-game adjustments. Since that game, they have been dominant on the offensive side of the ball. They're 2-0. They had a big win against the Bills. They're averaging 440 yards per game. They're averaging 29 points per game. Penix is playing at a different level, and Zach Robinson has been in his bag these last 2 games. Last night, that first touchdown to Tyler Algier, I know it seemed like a simple run play, but he has Bijan Robinson going in motion away from the play. The Chiefs or the Bills rotate down the safety to that side, but they're so worried about Robinson going in motion, they widen everybody out. They get the box that they want. Now they can leave that backside defensive end unblocked. They get 5-on-5, a hat on a hat, and Algier basically just treats it as a punt return, pick a lane, and go. Beautifully designed play. And they went back to that on that final drive multiple times in that game.
He almost scored again.
And ran different plays off of it, and then they hit it again to Algier. That's just one step ahead at all times as an offensive coordinator.
Yep.
The other thing they do that I love so much, and I've been a big fan of this, and I always advocate for this, is they play the game out of pistol. And what I mean by that is
do.
quarterback's in shotgun, but now you have the running back 2.5 to 3 yards behind the quarterback. Why is that important? Because when you're in shotgun and you put a running back on the right, 95% of the time you're thinking, okay, they're going cross formation to the left. The running back's on the left, they're going cross formation to the right, and you become predictable, and defenses can start figuring that out. When you have them directly behind, now you give them a two-way go every single snap, and I think that's what's helping Bijan Robinson and this offensive line with their blocking and their angles, and they're getting are doing a better job of getting up to that second level. It also helps the quarterback in play action, because now I can turn my back to the defense, I can hide the football, I can really sell the run fake instead of doing that ride fake in front, which no one bites on that. Right. But now you turn around, and that's when you get those plays to Drake London down the field and some of those big shots in that game. So that was great to see. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Ulbrich, defensive coordinator, called a phenomenal game plan. He went up against Josh Allen and treated it like they were playing against a rookie, not the best quarterback in the league. He lit his ass up all game long. Over 55% of pressures on Josh Allen dropbacks. Not only were they bringing pressure from linebackers and safeties, they were disciplined in their rush. They were staying in their rush lanes. They weren't giving Josh Allen time to get out of the pocket. He was flustered. I mean, they were struggling. He was missing throws. He was forcing throws over the middle that are uncharacteristic of him at this point in his career. He missed a cover zero, a blitz that they had on a 3rd and 8 situation. They bring all out cover zero. He misses it, takes a hit. He gets up a little slow. Then the next 3rd down misses a wide open crosser because he's worried about the pass rush. I mean, they had their number all game long. So I don't want to give this, or I don't want to say that the Bills didn't play great and what's wrong with the Bills. I want to say that the Falcons played their ass off. They out-prepared them. They out-coached them. And they went out there and won that football game at home.
All great points. Josh Allen got loose one time, down 10 late for one long run, and that's all he had the whole night.
Yeah,
that's it.
All right, I want to start with a man you originally played for in this league. You call him Ra, right?
My dog.
Raheem. You got drafted at Tampa, and he was your was he the secondary coach?
My DB coach.
And you loved him.
Loved him.
Still love him. So this is what I loved the most about last night. There's a new trend in football, in both pro and college football. You win the toss, you defer. And I never get it unless you tell me you have the 85 Bears defense or the 2000 Ravens or the 2002 Bucks. I got you on deferring, but if you're at home on Monday Night Football and you win the freaking toss, take the football and ram it down their throats. The best way to set a tone for the night is to take the opening kickoff and go score with it. I don't get defer. Okay, so you're going to get the ball to start the second. I don't buy it. I don't believe in it.
It's so from an offensive mindset, it's the 4-and-4 rule. We want to try to get the ball the last 4 minutes of the half, and they get the ball the first 4 minutes of the half. You're playing that game so that you can go. If you can score there, that's a 14-point turnaround.
All right, then you can build momentum. Paralysis by analysis.
You could call it that, but I'm just telling you why these offensive-minded coaches, they want to have the last 4 minutes of the half and the first 4 minutes of the second.
So Raheem wins the toss and says, I want the ball. And they got 2 huge breaks in the game. They got one on the first play of the game because Bijan coughed it up. And he is not a fumbler, but he fumbled it, and they recovered it. And it would have swung the momentum hard for the Bills, and you never know. It could be a whole new story out of that. But the Bills lined up offsides, and that's, boom, that means it's your night, right?
Yep.
And then I'll go quickly to the end of the game. Michael Penix threw one really bad idea pass, and Shaq Thompson you want to talk about all the ones the Steelers dropped? I mean, he's just on the move with it. It's almost like it's like he's the intended receiver on the play, and I don't think anybody's going to catch him. I don't think so. And it's going to be 21-21, and the stadium's going to go crazy. Bills fans go nuts.
Yeah.
And it's just your night, so you got away with 2 plays that were potential game changers that weren't. But Raheem coached to win that game because there were 2 other times, including at the end of the half, where you could have played it safe and just tried for the field goal. And they went ahead and went for it at the end of the half, and Drake London did get loose, and he just couldn't quite get his foot down, or the game would have been over at halftime. If you go to 28-7, I think the Bills are just like, next, right? I mean, I just...
Even though they didn't get it, that still was an attitude play.
I'm saying, I tweeted, it's worth the risk. Just take the shot, because Drake London was on fire. That's the best That's the most dominant I've seen him. You know him from USC days. And, man, he was going monster on them in the first half where he was just big boy football, man. Mm-hmm. The play at the goal line, it's 6'4" on 5'10", you know, like, okay, that's just, and Penix threw it perfect.
And he's a legit 6'4", 6'5" in person, man.
Okay, because you saw him the other day, right?
Yeah, I was with him a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
okay.
He's legit.
Okay, so I loved how they just kept going for the throat the whole game. Yeah. And I told you I thought Bijan would have a big game because Buffalo has a hard time stopping the run. He catches it and runs with it just as well, but you want to talk about a break. It's weird. This is his third year in the league, bless you.
Bless you.
And we're going to get deep into this in just a minute, but that it's weird to have a breakout game in your third year, but he's been kind of in the shadows because the team has been in the shadows for 2 years,
he's
right?
Been good, yeah.
And
good point.
He's been very good. Like, he's been great for 2 years, but nobody really noticed maybe until last night because that's like, it's a big stage and a big moment for a big time game where he literally just took the game over. He was by far the best player on the field. And he said after the game that he took it as a challenge because of Josh Allen. Now it's to your point. We're about to get here, but it's to your point about best player in the game. Well, he's saying, I'm going to show you I'm better than the MVP who's a quarterback. Right? And that's what happened. And the other thing, Jeff Ulbrich, you pointed out, I covered him when he was playing, but he's smart. And maybe he's not a great head coach. I don't know. I mean, he'll probably get another shot. But he is a great coordinator because he played at a pretty high level with his brain more than his talent. And you can just see his personality. He's a tough guy. He's a fighter. And he's a smart, tough guy. And you can just see that defense. I told you yesterday, the other reason I was picking Atlanta was they have the number one defense in pro football, completely off radar, and that's just in yards allowed. Mm-hmm. Well, look what they did last night. They held Buffalo under 300 total yards. That'll win football games, man. 291 for Josh Allen's vaunted offense. That was spectacular to me on a night that most people would think, well, Josh is going to explode and put on a big Monday night show. No, they put on a show because they're hard to deal with. And then this takes guts. This is Raheem. And believe me, this was his idea more than Jeff's idea. They blitzed Josh Allen in the second half 71% of the snaps. 71%? Like if Eberflus or Eberfraud or Eberfluke, as you call him, my defensive coordinator, if he blitzed twice a game, I'm happy. You know, give me two a game maybe. 71% on Josh Allen. They're just saying, no, we don't fear you. We don't think you can stand and get rid of it and kill us.
That's what you do against a rookie quarterback.
That's what I'm saying.
You do that against the reigning MVP.
This is the MVP. Yeah. You go after him 71% of the defensive snaps in the second half of the game with the game on the line, and you kept saying, I kept thinking, he's going to come back. He's going to come back. He's going to make it close in the end. Yeah. And they had their chances to make it close, but then we got a 4th and 2. And he rolls left because they're all over him, and he winds up trying to make a highlight, a viral play, and he tries to push pass it. Yeah. Well, okay, and he couldn't get much on it, and I don't think you would have tried that at that point. I don't think you would have. I think you would have tried to get your body right. I think you would have tried to get your feet set and tried to at least flip it with a little bit of overhand force on it to get it to the receiver on 4th and 2.
Yeah, I don't have the ability Josh Allen has, but I probably would have had to have done that.
Skip's like, Cody, you would have been better.
You know what? I would have.
The conventional play was the correct play on that.
Mentally, I get what you're saying.
Right?
Yes.
And then there's a 3rd and 2, and they run this weird kind of jet sweep, and it's just botched from the start. It's all out of whack.
Doing that too.
And that looked like bad team football to me, and it's a product of the defense is attacking you all night, and you get shaky-handed. At the end, you got to make a play on 3rd and 2, and you're not sure who's going to be in the backfield by the time you're going to hand the ball on the jet, right? because they were in attack mode the whole night. It was impressive.
They say a lot about them receivers too, man. They ain't respect those guys. They was willing to get up and play man and blitz the hell out you. There was no fear. They don't fear Keon Coleman and Shakir and Palmer, and they don't fear those guys.
And they were without Kincaid too, so they didn't have to worry about that target.
I'm a big fan of his. I wanted Dallas to draft him. Josh looked lost without his security blanket, because that's his security blanket. Because he's a big kid. He's 6'5", whatever.
I'm not a big fan of him. Skip, he went for about 220 on USC.
He did.
Years ago.
No,
about 17 catches in that game.
And you know what? He's an athlete, man.
He is a good player.
Yeah,
really good player.
And Josh trusts him.
Have we been sleeping on the Falcons? Can we see him in the playoffs this year?
I said they was going to give the Bucs a run for their money in that South.
You did.
I just remember saying that maybe like a month or two ago, and I still feel like that. So
in the beginning, it wasn't looking good.
And I think it's credit to Raheem Morris, because sometimes you see teams go either way with a 30-0 ass kicking against a team you should beat. And the Panthers are playing well. I don't want to take any credit away from them. But that's that wake-up call, because then it becomes do or die. And you just got embarrassed in that type of atmosphere in that game. We can go one of two ways, and I don't know him personally, but it seems like Raheem Morris is the type of guy that's going to have his team ready to go, because he made abrupt decisions, bringing Robinson down, changing up everything that they were doing. Olbrich's got more aggressive. I mean, that 55% on dropbacks against Josh Allen, that's more than anyone's done against him since 2021. And they went out there now. I'm not saying they have the book on them, but I'm curious to see going forward with the Bills. Our team's going to say, all right, well, let's light their ass up and bring smash pressure and bring a strong safety, bring a corner. But yeah, no, that's a huge testament to Raheem Morris and the way that he handled adversity and had his football team ready to go.
You know, you're right about blitzing, though. There's smart blitzing and there's dumb blitzing.
There is.
And you have to be coached to pick the right lane where you get free, and you have to have integrity on the edges.
Got to be disciplined.
Yeah, because you can't let him loose.
Got to be, especially against Josh Allen.
If he gets loose, he will kill you.
Tear the game up.
Yeah, because once he gets unwound, I think he can run like 4.8, at 6'5". And if he gets in the open, we saw it that one time late in the game. If he gets rolling, man, he can run for 60, 70 yards.
He's a sneaky athletic.
Yeah,
he's more athletic than people give him credit for. Yeah, and he's a good runner. They have some of those quarterback design runs, but that's exactly what Aqib said. They were disciplined with their rush lanes. It wasn't just, a bunch of chaos.
Right.
It was they were playing with continuity. They understood the game plan. They trusted the game plan, and they went out there and executed.
Well, yeah, we'll see if we'll see them in the playoffs. But if anybody can get them there, it might be this man, because Bijan Robinson, dang, 238 total yards from the scrimmage yesterday, and he had an 81-yard rushing touchdown, okay? So he has 822 yards on the season. That's insane. That's receiving and rushing, but he's looking nice, okay? Aqib, is Bijan Robinson the best running back in football?
I'm definitely going to say yes.
Ooh.
If I was drafting and I had a pick from anybody, right? Of course, I'd probably pick Patty first. Everybody else would pick their quarterback.
You love Patty.
My next pick would be Bijan. I'm taking Bijan with my second pick.
Over any other quarterback. Over Joe Burrow.
Over any
healthy Joe Burrow.
Well, I'm taking Pat.
Well, he's already got Pat.
No, he's got Pat.
Oh, okay.
I'm taking Pat
quarterback first.
Yeah.
Everybody else to take.
You'd already made one mistake taking Patty over.
Yeah.
So I mean, you would take
First
Burrow,
mistake,
I'd take Pat.
second
I don't
mistake.
think either one of us could go wrong there, Skip.
Okay.
But with my first athlete pick, I'm taking Bijan, man. Ross said it again last night.
He
He's
did.
the best player in football.
Okay, is he including quarterbacks?
Nah, you don't include quarterbacks.
He said best player in football, which is a bold statement. He didn't say best running back.
I don't think you got to have a quarterback. So it all starts with the quarterback. So I mean, he might be talking about quarterbacks too. But I know I talked to Rob maybe during their bye week. Rob was on his little vacay or whatever, real quick vacay. FaceTime me like, hey, what the hell you doing on TV with Skip, man? You back, baby? You know what I'm saying? I talked to him. You know what I'm saying? Call us Skip.
Right.
He showed us some love. He told me proud of being back on TV and all that
love
stuff.
him.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Cool. Yeah.
And then he told me, hey, get your ass out to Atlanta and come see Bijan. Because
Really?
this boy is different. He raved on Bijan for 2-3 minutes on that FaceTime call. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get out there. I got to get out there. I told him, I'm going to come see it live. And I saw it last night, and I got to put him at number one right now, man. His movement is just different. It's you see good running backs. You know what I'm saying? Bill and Washington, you see the movement. You know what I'm saying? Alvin Kamara, he got some good movement.
He does.
But Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs, they got different type of movement.
It's effortless.
Man. It's effortless. It's the vision mixed with the movement, the cuts, the short space bursts, how they get up out of there. Them two guys are in a league of their own.
What about Jonathan Taylor? Jonathan Taylor's 5 more touchdowns.
But he got more of a Saquon type. It's not the same movement as those guys. I love Jonathan Taylor. I love Saquon.
I'm gonna go JT over Bijan. I think Bijan.
They great running backs, but the movement that I'm talking about, you don't see this shit right here, Kinsey. I've been around football. I've been in the league for a long time.
You have.
Seen a bunch of running backs, a bunch of good running backs.
Yeah.
You don't see movement like this. And out of the two, Bijan is better than Gibbs. So I'm definitely giving him the best in the biz. And I know it's year 3. He been balling before, but I feel like you said, Skip, that moment last night for him.
Yeah.
It was.
Zach Robinson really getting in his bag. That offense was Sean McVay like last night.
It was.
That was Zach Robinson. He elevated his game as well. You know what I'm saying?
Did.
With the little stuff you said.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Man, it was. I'm definitely saying Bijan had his breakout.
Yeah.
He'd be looked at as definitely a top 5 player in this league from here going out.
He had 1,500 yards last year. If he could top that, dang.
Yeah, quietly though. That was
He
a good
finna
point
top
by
that.
Skip.
He finna top that in 9 weeks. He already at 800 or some crazy
He
shit
is.
right
He got
now.
800.
Right. I'm torn on this because the top 2 guys right now for me this season is Bijan Robinson and Jonathan Taylor.
Yep.
And I love Bijan Robinson, but right now I got to go with Jonathan Taylor as the best running back in the NFL.
Okay.
I love Bijan, though, for those exact reasons. He's second right now in the NFL in rushing, but mind you, he has 1 less game than the top 5 guys that are next to him. He's averaging just under 100 yards per game, but the vision, the athleticism, that is a quarterback's best friend. I have a guy that can pass protect, that can create something out of nothing, a play that would normally be a 2nd and 12, he turns into a 2nd and 4. I can run a lot more plays on 2nd and 4 than I can on 2nd and 12. He is so elusive. He's got great vision, burst of speed. He understands blocking schemes. He knows when to get north and south. He knows when to get east and west and take the edge. So he does all those things well. And also as a quarterback, I love a guy out of the backfield that can catch. He is a threat, a legit threat in the passing game. But right now, Jonathan Taylor, in my opinion, it's 1A, 1B for right now for me. They're so close. But Jonathan Taylor is playing better than any running back in football. He's 600 yards rushing in 6 games. He's averaging over 100 yards per game, the only running back in the league doing that right now. He's averaging over 5 yards per rush. He leads the league in touchdowns as well, rushing touchdowns. And you can argue that, okay, he has one of the best offensive lines in football with the Colts, but he also leads the league in yards after contact. And a majority of his yards are after contact. He's been playing some good football. He's so good at making that first and even the second guy miss. And like Bijan, turning something out of nothing. So they're back and forth. And hey, we talked about Aqib, just to back up my argument a little bit, how good that Broncos defense is. And they are. I think they might be playing better than anybody on defense right now in the NFL. But he ran for 165 against Vance Joseph. Ooh. And he also had 50 yards receiving and a touchdown. So he's doing it against good teams as well. So again, back and forth, but I got to take JT right now.
That's why I give Bijan the edge, though. Just as a pass catcher, man.
Yeah. He's got a lot more receiving yards than JT.
Right. He's a better receiver than
He's a better receiver.
Not even close.
Taylor, though, is at 150 receiving yards and a touchdown.
He gets the screens and stuff and get up.
But Bijan's double that.
Literally ran a spray out versus Tre'Davious White last night.
Yeah, he did.
And looked like an ex-receiver.
He did.
He was wide ass open. They didn't catch the ball. But I'm like, bro, that looked like a damn number 1 receivers route.
You know how frustrating that is as a defensive coordinator?
What?
Like you can go 3 wide, but then your back can be that 4th receiver, and you're like, who do we cover him with?
Like, bro, you left the corner on him, and he routed his ass up.
Yeah, Bijan's doubled him in receiving yards.
Yeah, he is. So, but I'm still riding with JT right now. I think he's number 1.
Man, what a difference a year makes, because a year ago today it had been Saquon, right?
Now we're like, where the heck is Saquon?
All Saquon did last year was, if he'd played the 17th game, he could have set the all-time rushing record in the history of pro football.
He could have.
And yet,
now he can't even get
to
50
your
yards.
point, I said before the draft, before Bijan got drafted, he's going to change somebody's life because he's a great kid. He has high character, high work ethic, high humility. He's built right. And then, and by the way, I look at this draft real quick, and he goes 8th overall, and I'm like, on draft day, because remember, I grew up an Oklahoma fan, so I had to deal with him 3 times,
Yep.
Texas, Oklahoma.
Yeah, you did.
And trust me, I'm watching my Sooners, and every time they opted not to hand or flip the ball to Bijan, I was like, thank God, thank you, because he's lethal, and he's effortlessly lethal. He doesn't look like he's running that fast or trying to run that fast, and he is. And Saquon always looks like he's trying hard to run fast to me. Jonathan Taylor looks like he's having to guts it up and go as hard as he can to run as fast as he can. And I'm taking nothing away because he is literally carrying them right now. We can get into.
Hey, Indiana Jones.
I know. Well, I
on,
agree.
carrying them, Skip.
Indiana
Right.
Jones, don't be hating
No,
on my
but
guy.
Tyler Warren is also.
Okay.
Yeah, Tyler Warren. Come on, Kinsey.
All right, but if you look at Bijan quietly emerging in the shadows, so he averages 4.6 yards a carry as a rookie, then it goes up to 4.8 last year. Now he's up to 5.8. A carry, that's a carry.
Carry.
And now he's 164 combined yards per game. It's blowing everybody away, including Jonathan Taylor, because Jonathan Taylor is third at 125. So he's 164 to 125. And C-Mac out in San Francisco is second at 130. He's obliterating the field in yards from scrimmage. And yards per touch, he's obliterating pro football at 7.7 yards per touch. It helped that he had 81 last time on one. That helps your math.
Really bumped him.
Oh, yeah, but still, 7.7. Jonathan Taylor's at 5.6, and trust me, that's like a Grand Canyon of a leap up to what Bijan is doing. But here's the one issue I have with Zach Robinson. Okay, so in total attempts for the year so far, you've got Christian McCaffrey at 154 and Jonathan Taylor at 135. This is total attempts running and catching.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And Bijan's all the way down at 10th at 107. So they don't use him the way San Francisco is using or maybe overusing C-Mac, or Jonathan Taylor is being overused right now just to help carry these surprising Colts. And here's the other thing that just kills me that I don't get. When Atlanta gets to the red zone, they bring in Tyler Algier like clockwork to get, like Bijan had one longer run last night that got them to the 19 or whatever, and he's out of the game, and they bring in a slightly bigger back who weighs, if you're going with a program, what's listed, it's 10 pounds more.
He's definitely 20 pounds heavier than
Okay,
Yeah,
do you
he's
think
pretty
so?
big. He's
He's listed at 225 and Bijan's 215, but that's their listed weights. And you
Right.
could be right. He runs 20 pounds heavier because he runs like Pacheco runs. He's going to run possessed, right? He's going to run like he's on fire and he's about to set you on fire. And yet, this is just me. Bijan is so good that back in the day, I covered Emmitt Smith. Listen, if you get in the red zone and you tell Emmitt Smith you're coming out of the game for the fullback or something, hey, he would throw a tantrum on the sideline with Jimmy Johnson. He is not coming out. Eric Dickerson is not coming out of the game. If we can go back to the late, great Jim Brown, trust me, ain't coming out of no football game if we get in the red zone. That's where he's going to eat. That's where you're going to pay him off with touchdowns for him getting you there.
Right.
So here's red zone carries so far this year. Algier has 12, Bijan has 11, okay? Jonathan Taylor has 31 carries in the red zone. Because when they get in the red zone, they're just saying, beast, go
Right.
beast him. Okay, so all I can guess is they're trying to save his body and, shelf life, because they always say running backs last no more than 3 years.
Exactly.
The Zeke effect, I got 3 really good years out of Ezekiel Elliott, and then he hit the wall.
Ground now.
Okay?
He ain't come out in the red zone either.
Okay, he would not come out in the red zone. And you want to talk about he's like Earl Campbell trying to run through brick walls, right? But I don't, this is just me. I don't know. He is so good. Tyler Algier, he's got more carries in the red zone right now than Bijan. I don't get it. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. And if I'm Raheem, I sit back and say, you know what? we just got to let our biggest dog eat. Just once. I don't know what you guys think, but are you really going to pull him out in the red zone? Because I'm not.
He give him it's 50-50. He take him out. Sometimes he put him at like the slot back and use him on the motion. And you know what I'm saying? If you got a guy like Algier, he's not a bad back. He probably start on a couple teams in the league.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? So
he's just a big banger.
I feel like if Atlanta gets to they don't want to not have Bijan at week 12, 13, 14. If they get to a spot
that's a big risk.
Where they in the playoffs and they in the tournament, I think that should crank up. That's what you want to save them for. You gotta be smart about this thing in these running backs. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have them when you need them, but you also gotta get there first to need them. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. And if Tyler Algier wasn't productive, I wouldn't do it. But he's productive doing it. When we put him in, he scored touchdown. He on one of my fantasy teams. I'm like, damn. Really? Every week I'm like, damn, he on my bench. But I'm like, damn, I should have had his ass in the game because he scored a touchdown. It seemed like he scored a touchdown every week.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So,
well, Zach Robinson's putting him in his fantasy game.
So I mean, if it's not broke, I wouldn't fix it. But I guarantee you, if they get to first round of the playoffs, that's going to dial back a little bit, and they'll have Bijan in there more and more and more.
And it's also, to your point, Zach Robinson, it's game plan specific. Like these are the unique looks and the styles that we're using down in the red zone to create, some advantageous plays to put the defense in a bind like they did last night on that first touchdown. So I don't think it's Zach Robinson saying, and I think it does a little bit too. We want to protect our running back because what he's doing right now is great. Why change anything? I mean, he's having so much production. All the stats that you just mentioned, there's no reason that they should change how they're using him. But when you have a guy like Algier, take some of the load off of Bijan, allow him to go down there, still have that same production, and put two backs, go 21 personnel with two backs, one tight end, two receivers.
They do that a lot.
And use that motion, and now you don't know who's getting the ball. And then they fake it to Algier and kick it out like they did last night on that final drive to Bijan, and you create these different advantages, with your offense.
All right, now to your point, Raheem's point, best football player in the National Football League. Okay, it's just hard for me to take him over any quarterback, any starting quarterback. It's just the position is just so much more valuable than running back.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to find a quarterback that if you have a starter that you're sold on, you're just going to take him over Bijan any day or night or Monday, Thursday, or Sunday. And it surprises me Raheem would say it only because they drafted Michael Penix Jr. to be their guy. And they just sat right there in the draft and took him and shocked the world when they took him because nobody thought he was going to go that high.
Yeah.
And he had a rough game at Carolina, and then they stuck with him. And I agree with Bob. He played very well last night. He had a little lull in the second half because they only scored 3.
They all did, though.
Yeah, I know.
Their offense
okay, all right. But
slowed down.
But it's funny when Raheem says he's the best football player in the league. If I'm Michael Penix, not that I'm angry about it, but I'm kind of hurt. Like I'm thinking, I'm chopped liver here, man.
But you got to be self-aware, though.
No, he would.
He don't care. Chopped liver,
no,
but
Michael Penix isn't thinking I'm the best.
Hey, sometimes he's definitely not thinking I'm the best.
But is he thinking I'm more valuable than Bijan? I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't think
he wouldn't be. Maybe he would have got blitzed 70% of the time if he didn't have Bijan.
I think it's like the
That's
Niners.
reason why you don't blitz the Falcons like that.
Yeah.
Because we're like, shit, who gonna guard Bijan?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If we do blitz him, who the fuck gonna guard Bijan? So
Yeah.
Bijan do so much for him in protection, in the run game, like you said, giving them great second down, great third downs, and then he limits what the defense could do because you got to worry about Bijan at all times. They might come out of empty and have Bijan outside. You got a blitz on. If a linebacker go out there, you could chalk that shit up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Michael Penix, he
Yeah.
Right, and he would probably say the same thing. I guarantee you if they asked him and mean it and would say, hey,
like
that's the best player in
how
football.
Raheem Morris rave about him, like we don't even see the best of Bijan. He say, you should see the shit he do at practice.
Yeah.
it's like George Pickens almost. Like it's like, bro, the movement and the shit that he do at practice, it's like a whole highlight tape in itself. So
yeah, it's like the Niners. Brock Purdy's their franchise quarterback, but CMC is the guy.
Yeah.
No one's going to be like, Brock's better.
All right, fair enough. So we look back at that draft, and I said he went 8th, and I'm looking at Bryce goes first, CJ second. You could flip him. I still like Bryce. I still believe. I just like his mental toughness.
These last 2 weeks, he's been playing
pretty
football,
good.
Man.
He was very good against my team on Sunday. So you got those two, 1-2, 2-1, and then Will Anderson goes to the Texans because they had the next pick.
He balling.
But he is. But I'm just saying right now, if you look back, the Texans, they would have to take Bijan third. I mean, you just have to. I don't care how good Will Anderson is. Bijan is like transcendent to where he
got to.
Right? Okay.
Definitely.
And then Anthony Richardson goes fourth, and I don't hate it. I'm not sure yet. I'm just.
Well, really, if you really look back, the Panthers might have to take him number one.
Okay.
Because they had Baker Mayfield, your guy, come to town. Look,
Yeah.
You feel me? They could have Baker and Bijan.
Maybe.
If you really think about it.
You could talk yourself
They could be
into
living
it.
in that world right now with Baker
That
and
would be
Bijan.
crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So
Okay, and these
if
are.
we're looking back at it from right now, shit.
Okay, now these three are what are you thinking picks? Devin Witherspoon goes next, and then Paris Johnson goes next to the Cardinals offensive lineman, and then Tyree Wilson goes to the Raiders, and he's just been a bust so far. He can't even get in the game as a linebacker pass rusher. And then Bijan goes 8th, and Jalen Carter, to Howie Roseman's credit, went 9th. But he had all kinds
They
of
should have
red
been
flags.
3 and 4 for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
he dropped. Yeah.
Okay,
He dropped.
but Jalen Carter had all kinds of red flags going on, issues off the field, and nobody was going to take. He might have fallen through the first round. And Harry Roseman said, "Watch this."
Watch this here.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. So I still can't believe Bijan went 8th overall. God.
Yeah, and I mean I'll say this: there are guys that I agree with that it's like, how does this guy fall that far? But there's also hindsight with all of that to where
No, I
these
understand.
teams. But that's what's so wild about these draft processes, even in college, man. When you offer these 5 stars and these recruits, and then guys that are can't miss prospects in the NFL, you really don't know. You don't know. You can do all your research, you can do all your prep. You have these generational talents. You just don't know if they're going to pan out. But I'm with you. If there was a redraft, I still think, not even hindsight, Bijan should have went higher than he did, just for how good he was coming out of Texas.
Well, 70% of the chat thinks Bijan is the best running back in football. So,
Wow.
but not the best player, but the best running
and
back.
Real quick, last quick point about Bucks versus Falcons in that division. Baker and company did go in there on opening day and
did.
win the football game.
Squeaked it out, missed field goal.
They did hold Bijan.
Bijan had what, 24?
12 carries for 24 yards.
That was what's his name? BZ. Before Zach.
Before
came down.
Yeah,
Before he came down.
I think Aqib had, 20? He was the leading rusher.
He
that game.
was.
He had 24, 25 also. Yeah, they did.
Who knew?
Well, let's dive into the Bills a little bit more, okay? Because the Bills just lost 2 in a row, and they're struggling a little bit on defense. They got poor pass defense, poor tackling, struggling with penalties. And I think the offense is a little too reliant on Josh Allen. So, Skip, are the Bills true Super Bowl contenders?
I agree with you about Josh. I think they're fraudulent.
Wow.
But I've thought that for the last 3 weeks. Speaking of hard knocks, they were great on hard knocks, but now they're experiencing hard knocks because we are getting deeper and deeper into a season that is not turning out the way they all raved about it would turn out on hard knocks. Okay, so step back for a second and look at their body of work. I keep saying this about Baltimore. You now have to disqualify any good game anybody had against Baltimore's defense.
100%.
Now, because you say even when they were relatively healthy, they were deeply flawed. So opening night, Baltimore goes in there, and I thought, my God, what a powerhouse. It's 40-25 Baltimore on opening, Sunday night after 3 quarters.
Yep.
And then the sky fell in on the Ravens defense. Now, not a shock. Now you say, oh, that was kind of predictable, but Buffalo pulled it off 41-40, but I put an asterisk beside it because it's Baltimore's defense. Gave up 41. Okay, then they go to the Jets and win 30-10. Okay, then Dolphins. They screw around with the Dolphins on a Thursday night. I watched the whole thing because I thought Buffalo would kill them. And it's 14-14 at halftime. It's 21-21 with 7 minutes left in the game at Buffalo. This is Tua at Buffalo, and they're still in the game with 7 minutes to go, and it ends up 31-21. Josh had to muster up all of his Superman qualities to pull that out. Then they beat the Saints 31-19, wake me up for the next week, and then they come home, they lose to the Pats 23-20, and then that happened last night. Okay, I'm not seeing it. Show me one where you say, oh, there it was. Their defense is third worst against the run, which is why I said Bijan will have 125 last night, and he had 170. Mm-hmm. Then I look at Josh, and he is the reigning MVP, but to your point, they're Josh or bust. Raheem at halftime called him Superman. We got to contain Superman. Mm-hmm. Okay, he is Superman. I give you that, but Superman's all they got. I give you no Kincaid last night and no Matt Milano on defense, but everybody's beat up already, and so I can't give you excuses that I don't give everybody else because everybody's got injury problems.
That's not an excuse. I wouldn't say Kincaid's an excuse. I agree.
Okay, all right. So Josh is now 13th in QBR, which is not MVP quality. And he's been sacked 12 times already. He was sacked 14 for the whole year last year. So they're not protecting him or he's trying to make plays. Then James Cook last night. James Cook is second in the league in rushing yards. But you said they were trash on third down last night. 2 for 9 on third down. James Cook didn't play a single one of those plays. He was off the football field for all 9 third downs and the 1 fourth down. They don't play him on crucial downs. So they're saying Superman or bust. They're relying on Josh Allen to make 3 or 4 viral plays a game to win the football game. And I don't think it'll work against a good team, as they faced last night, or a very good team. And maybe to your point, Aqib, it's like who is the good team, right now.
Yeah.
Right.
But man, when your defense is 17th in points allowed, it's 21st in takeaways, it's just not good enough to match Josh. It's like Josh is it. You don't even have a defense. Again, Matt Milano could change that. So now I look at the AFC, and I say, Buffalo right here, right now, is not better than Kansas City.
Nope.
Not better than Denver.
Nope.
Not better than Indy.
Nope.
Not better than Pittsburgh.
Nope.
I don't think they're better than the Chargers. We could debate that, but I think the Chargers are slightly better. I'm not even sure that Jacksonville isn't a little bit better right here, right now than Buffalo is. Just a little better. I know they stunk at home and lost to a very good Seattle team, but we saw what Jacksonville did at home against Kansas City on Monday night. So again, they're falling down into the pack to me, and given the fact that a lot of people thought this is a Super Bowl team, this is fraudulent because I don't see any. I don't see a hint of a Super Bowl team, and I'll conclude with this. So they're supposed to have the 25th easiest closing schedule. Okay, their next game is at Carolina. And you can laugh at me if you want to, but again, Carolina just destroyed my team, even though it went to the buzzer.
I think Carolina is better than we're giving them credit
well, they're
for.
3-0 at home, and they beat Atlanta 30-0 at home, and they kicked my team's ass in both lines of scrimmage. So I think they're better than people think. So I don't think that's a gimme anymore. And then Buffalo has to play at home Kansas City, Tampa, and the Eagles, and they have to go to a Thursday night game at Houston, at Pittsburgh, at New England. Okay, I'm just, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
Could they be like a 9-8, 8-9 kind of team before this is over? They could be. And then the sky would fall in Buffalo.
Are you agreeing or no?
I'm with Skip, man.
Okay, go. You go last then, 'cause I disagree.
I'm with Skip. I really think it's been fraudulent. You said the last 3 weeks. Shit, it's been fraudulent for the last 3 years, in my opinion.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't never look at Buffalo like, oh, they're gonna win a chip this year, because it's Josh Allen, and then it's Cooks as well. Cooks gonna make his plays, but like you said, I don't like how they use him.
Man,
he's not in the game on third down. They don't throw it to him enough.
No.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I just don't like how they use him. I feel like he can be used way better. So I always go off the defense, man. You third to last in versus the run. When you play big time backs, it's like they tuck their tail, man. Like,
tuck their tail.
Derrick Henry go for 170, Bijan go for 170, and you got another big time back coming this week now. I put Rico in the big time back category after what the fuck he been doing these last 2 weeks.
I can't argue, man.
Hey, they better buckle up.
Yeah.
The Bills better buckle up.
They better buckle up.
He liable to go for
That's a good
172.
point.
he's seeing the field so good right now and getting up in there, running the ball hard. Their O-line is playing great right now.
It is.
They better buckle up because Rico coming. So you middle of the pack against the scoring points, man. You give up a lot of points, man. I just never look at the Bills like they're gonna beat the Chiefs this year, or they're gonna beat the Ravens this year. I always look at them like, bro, y'all, they're gonna be good during the regular season.
Yeah.
When it come down to it, they're gonna do what they always do. I don't never look at them as Super Bowl contenders, man. And I love Josh Allen though. I think he could be Superman at times.
He can.
He been the MVP last year. That was some Superman type season. It wasn't Superman for the last 2 weeks. And the last 2 weeks you played teams with winning records. It seemed like when they play these confident teams, teams with winning records, teams who real confident about themselves, they kind of tuck their tail to me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like it. I think they'd have a better second half of the season than first half of the season. But with those wideouts out there, and that defense, I don't think you could win a chip with that.
Yeah. Although I like Shakir every time I watch him, but they can't get him the ball enough or don't get him the ball enough.
Because they want to get the ball to Knox and Kincaid every time. That's what they want to do.
Yeah. No.
I disagree with both of these guys.
All right.
Okay.
I think the Bills are Super Bowl contenders. I really do. These last 2 games were concerning. I'll give you that. And they didn't play good football, and it looked like they were lost last night in that game on both sides of the ball. But the reason I'm not worried about it is because of the veteran leadership they have on this team. That they have a great core foundation of guys. I know they haven't won one yet, but they've been to the AFC Championship. They've gotten close a couple times. They know what it takes to get there or get almost there. And they've retained and had retention with some of their key players and their coaching staff.
It's always a close game that they lose.
And they do. And their context does matter.
Like a field goal.
Yeah, I mean, it is. That's what I'm saying. It goes back and forth. It could have gone either way, and there's one that changed the rules of overtime because of what happened. It's not like they're not close. But go ahead.
They're not close because the defense gives up 30. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You could argue
it's a 30-30.
It's a 32-30 loss. Like, bro, we're not going to win like that. I just can't ride with
you could argue the opposing team is giving up 30 also, but they're winning like that. Like, it's when you get to the playoffs, everyone's good. You can have a good defense, but the offense is, they've hit their stride. They're playing some good football, and we've seen how powerful the AFC is. I will say this, though, to your guys' point, things they need to get fixed. One is discipline. This is uncharacteristic, undisciplined football they're playing right now. 11 penalties versus the Saints. Then they had 11 penalties against New England, then they had 8 penalties last night. You're not going to win games like that. The other thing they have to do is protect the football. The last 2 weeks, they are -4 in the turnover margin. 5 turnovers on offense, only 1 takeaway on the defensive side of the ball. And then the final point, I've said it before, so I've got to keep the same baseline. If you want to win in November, if you want to win in December, you want to win in the playoffs, you have to stop the run. You cannot get away with a bad run defense in those cold weather games late in the season, because if you want to win in the snow, if you want to win in Kansas City, if you want to win, even in Buffalo, you've got to be able to stop the run and run the ball on offense. And right now they're not doing that. But they're running the ball well, but they're not stopping the run. But the thing that I think stands out over all of this when it comes to, are they a Super Bowl contender, is who is right now in the AFC. You mentioned all these teams, but let's go through it. New England, are you sold on them at 4-2? No. I mean, they're tied right now with Buffalo. They have the head-to-head against them. Pittsburgh at 5-1.
I'm sold on the head coach.
Okay, Are you sold on Pittsburgh at 5-1? Are you convinced that they're a Super Bowl team? I know Denver and the Chargers are both 4-2 and leading the AFC West, but here come the Chiefs.
But I'm sold on Denver.
I think they're good teams,
really,
but I'm saying
because you're talking about legit defense.
I'm sold on the guys who play defense.
Yeah.
The Chiefs.
As legit.
Broncos.
Yeah.
So you're not saying that Broncos game against the Jets the other day where they barely squeaked by against the worst team in the league, that didn't give you any concern. You watched that film, not being a defensive player, but you watched that game and said, that's a Super Bowl contender right there. That is a Super Bowl team.
They don't look like that on offense week in, week out, though.
They don't, but
the Bills look like that on defense week in, week out. They always look like that. You know what I'm saying? So I see potential what that offense could be. With that defense, it's going to take you a long way. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? I give the Broncos a little break because of the Euro effect. You think 5 hours just screws up your body, fly overseas, and they just look out of it to me.
Okay. All right, fair. But then also after that, Jacksonville, I'm not convinced fully on them. I like all these teams.
Yeah.
They're all good teams. I'm just saying there's no team in the AFC where you say, all right, this is one gap. Everyone else doesn't have a chance. This is a true contender. So I think the Bills are still alive because of that. And you also don't win the Super Bowl in Week 6. They're going to continue to get better. The defense is struggling, but their offense right now is playing some high-level football. I know it didn't look like it last night, but the numbers don't lie. They're running the ball well. Josh Allen is throwing the ball well. They're great in total offense right now.
Show me a game on here where you say, there they are. Show me one.
I know you keep discrediting the Ravens, and we go high in sight, but that game, the first game of the year, while everyone's healthy, the Ravens still put up 40 in that game. I know you can say, all right, the defense gave up 40, but they still came back and won that game when it was done.
So
everyone was dead to the right.
If they show me a game, you're going to show me the game where Derrick Henry had 172 touchdowns and the Ravens dropped 40. That's the game that you said,
but
we might win the chip off.
But you guys are acting like but you're acting like we're moving the goalposts when it comes to it's tough to win in the NFL. I know the Saints game wasn't perfect, but they win that game. Miami, okay, it wasn't great. You can't rave, but like they're winning these games though, and they're finding a way to get the job done. So.
Okay, but Buffalo's comeback started against Baltimore that night. Josh threw wild high to Kincaid, and it goes off his fingertips. I don't think he was aiming for Keon Coleman, and he catches it in the back of the end zone. That's just luck.
That's how so you're telling me because of that play, and they gave up some big plays on you think who Buffalo's been. I know you don't like them the last 3 years, but who Buffalo's been and what you've seen from the AFC without nitpicking every little small thing, you really don't think that they're contenders in the AFC?
Nah.
Did you think
Super Bowl
contenders?
I said I think they'll finish. I think they probably still win the division. It's going to be a close race between them and the Patriots. They're going to get in the playoffs. Somebody going to rush for 170. They're going to be home again.
And one last thing about Josh. I love to watch him. He's fun to watch. He's must see. Like last night, I just kept waiting. Is he going to do that?
Yeah.
Is he going to do one of those Josh plays? And yet, he's in every other commercial now because he's the reigning MVP, and he should be in all those commercials. Yep. But you can just see his mentality is, I got to live up, man. I got to do something that nobody's ever seen. I got to do this. And the turning point of the game is 4th and 2 when he does the push pass, and floats it. He tries to push pass it like 8 yards, 10 yards.
Yeah, and that was old Josh.
Yeah,
that was plays where you go, man, scratch your head, what are you doing?
Come on.
And I'm not saying he hasn't done that. But you also have to take into context with the defense right now. And I'm not going to make excuses for them. They have to play better, but they don't have Milano last night. They have the rest of their starters, but the depth right now is where they're struggling. They have a lot of guys in the secondary and a lot of guys with their defensive line. They had a defensive lineman get hurt or someone in their front seven get hurt in pregame. And now they're out with another guy and had to elevate. Like, they're just struggling right now with depth.
That's everybody.
But to me, I look at the Ravens, and they got like Hamilton, they got like all these Matabuke, they got they got all these big.
They got Ed Oliver, they got Milano, they got Trey, they've got guys too.
But I'm like, well, I guess they them the guys, but like, where are the guys, bro? Like, where's the money going in Buffalo, bro? Yep. Where's the guys? Like, where are they? We got Cook, we got Josh Allen, we got Ed Oliver. Like Milano, one of the guys. I don't know if
Milano's been good for a long time. He's a good football player.
Man, like where's all the paper going in Buffalo?
Yeah.
Like where are the guys?
I think they put a lot in their O-line.
Yeah, but you're saying all this, but still they've been relevant every single year. They're getting close, and they're getting close, and they're getting close.
And I like them. I like them for that reason. But
with all these negatives you guys are saying,
I would never.
With all these negatives you're saying though, they're still finding a way to get to the AFC Championship. They're a play away. They're a snap away.
They got Superman.
You can't do it all yourself, though.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Where are the guys?
Okay, I mean...
He do it all himself every year and get them to this point. Where the fuck are the guys? Where's the money?
I will agree with that, though. I don't like...
Where's his number one?
Since Diggs. I don't think they've done a good job of Keon Coleman.
Where's your lockdown corner?
Keon Coleman's a decent player.
Where are the guys?
Here, I like him, but I agree. I think they need to give him a number one. James Cook, you got your running back set. You got your quarterback. Offensive line is paid. They look good. I do think the missing piece on offense right now is a number one, true game changer and number one receiver.
But also, the corner, they need a corner about this.
Yeah,
right?
he is, and he went off against them.
He did
tonight when they played. But hey, look, we'll see. We'll look back at.
I'll give them this though. They did win Hard Knocks.
They
won.
did.
Man, you can look at teams that win. We've said this about the Chiefs. We've said this about other teams. You can see teams that win the Super Bowl. We don't look back and go, man, they barely beat the Saints. You don't worry about that. That's a win.
You don't see the Chiefs just losing 40-42.
They lost. Okay, the year they won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, they lost 27-3 to the Raiders. And everyone wrote them off, and they went and won the Super Bowl. And then in 2019,
that was a terrible week. But I mean, week in, week out, their scores are like 24-17. They went 21. They went
2019. I think they went on a 2-4 streak at some point through 6 games and won the Super Bowl. Like there's times that we see teams do this.
What was the score of those games? Did anybody give them 40 and rush for 270?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I know they lost 27-3 to the Titans the game, not the Raiders.
I remember one year the Chiefs had a bad defense, and then when they got to the playoffs, that shit switched. That's when Spags was like born.
Yeah.
I remember that Super Bowl run. I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Aqib and Skip think the Bills are fraudulent. Okay, so we're going to find out, but I want to kind of talk now. Oh, also 60% of the chat says that they're not Super Bowl contenders.
Wow. Fraudulent.
Hey, well, the other 40% are Bills fans.
Yeah. So let's move on, though, because there was another game last night that I want to talk about. So we have a late game fumble for the Commanders and Jake Moody comeback era because this man was wildly hated in San Francisco, and he gets cut. Goes to Chicago, makes the game-winning field goal. So, also, are we finally starting to see, Ben Johnson, positive effect on Chicago? Yep. Lot to dive into. So, Aqib, how did the Bears pull off the upset? If you call it an upset.
It was I call it an upset.
You do? Okay.
On the road, Commanders supposed to be the better team. I definitely call it an upset, but how? Because turnovers. I'm going to simply put it on turnovers. The Commanders, they got a chance to, in my opinion, put the dagger in them boys.
Yeah.
You get a ball to Bill, you get that first down. Now the Bears got to use their timeouts. You probably on like the 37-yard line or somewhere around there now. It's a pretty easy field goal at that point if you don't score.
Yep.
Now you need a touchdown. Caleb, no timeouts, need a touchdown. I bet the house on that. I might be wrong. I might be homeless.
Bet the house on
I bet the house on that.
I don't know if your wife wants you to do that, but
the Commanders had three turnovers on the night. The Bears had none. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to win like that. It's home road games. It's hard to win like that. I know it was misty. It was a little rainy, but you got to protect that football, man. I'm definitely. Swift played great. Swift had a 55-yard touchdown. He had a big play when they needed it too. It was in the clutch moment, and he ran the ball great all night. So I say Swift did his thing, but the main thing I looked at after the game, I'm like, damn, they lost because of turnovers. One crucial one, and throughout the whole night, that's why you lost the game. You can't win like that.
I think it was because the Bears had resilience. I think that you got to give credit to Ben Johnson in Chicago and Caleb Williams and that team. There were multiple times in this game, and I know I'm not by myself, that I was watching and thought, here we go. The Bears are going to find a way to lose this game, just like they always have. They're not going to find a way to overcome these. I mean, they're up in the second half, and then Washington goes 14 unanswered. They give up a coverage bust, walk-in touchdown to Luke McCaffrey. Then they get a touchdown called back on a ghost illegal formation call. You can call it what you want. I don't think that was a penalty, but they get a touchdown call back to Adunze, who I picked in my underdog picks, by the way, so I was pissed about that when I had him on the over for touchdowns. But then Zacchaeus drops that drag route coming across the field on the crosser that he probably still would be running at this point.
Probably still would be.
Definitely would have got the first down.
First down, I don't know if speed-wise, I don't know if he would have got to the corner, but it just felt like everything that was going wrong was going to keep happening to the Bears, and they weren't going to overcome that. And you can argue, yes, that botched handoff from Jaden Daniels to Bill in the backfield changed the game, but you still have to be in the damn fight for that to even matter. And then you still have to go out there and get in field goal range, and then you still have to make the field goal, and you still have to be smart with your timeouts and the timing of everything to put yourself in position to win the game. You can't just say they fumbled, game over. You still have to go out there and execute.
They still had to get 17 yards.
Yeah.
But still, they get the ball to 50 right around there, but you still got to go put yourself. I've seen teams not be able to go 17 yards, or I've seen teams turn it over, or I've seen teams go 4 and out and not get it on 4th down. They found a way to win that game. And you talk about turnovers being a fluke. That defense right now has 9 turnovers in the last 16 possessions that they've been out there, or the last 16 defensive possessions. They have 9 takeaways. That is high level football. They're not great when you look at the stats. They got to get better on the run defense. They got to get better overall as a unit, but they're an opportunistic defense right now. They're a bend, don't break. They're finding ways to take the ball away. They're staying close enough in these games to where they give Caleb Williams a chance to win at the very end. So all of those things I love. We'll talk about Caleb here in a second, and I'll break down the film on him, but I thought he played great in this game. I think we're really starting to see the Ben Johnson effect and why they hired him to come to Chicago, because they're finding a way to win these games that they would have lost a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago. They're finding ways to get it done, but the guy I've got to give credit to that was the difference maker was Moody. You got to give Moody his credit. If you don't remember, I mean, and Kinsey knows, he got cut after week 1 from the 49ers.
Of all time.
He gets cut from the 49ers after week 1.
Hater.
Oh, hater.
People forget too. He was a third round pick.
Killed us.
He was a third round pick. He was like,
well, he won the Lou Groza award.
He was everything. He was Big Ten kicker, whatever. So, but he goes to the 49ers and up and down. But then they cut him after week 1. And he was on the practice squad up until 3 hours before kickoff.
Oh.
Then they elevate him. Goes in those conditions, that weather, goes 4 for 5. The miss was a block, and then he kicks a game winner. So I got to give credit to him. I know you're going to say the Commanders made mistakes in this game. Sure they did, but you've got to give credit to the Bears. They hung around and found a way to get it done.
You don't miss Jake Moody now?
Oh my gosh! I've publicly been on Instagram a lot about Jake Moody. I'm sorry for your feelings, but whoa, he had to go.
He had to.
Good luck to the Bears. You can have him.
I hate kickers. I hate them in general. I just hate field goal kicking.
Except for the Dallas Cowboys kicker, he's great.
I know.
You have a jersey.
You love RB. I love B-Mac.
I'll take him.
B-Mac wasn't a regular kicker. Like when we hung out, B-Mac hung with us and chilled with us. Brandon McAnderson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was like an integral part of our Super Bowl win too. And
okay, and
he wasn't regular though. That's my guy, man. Shout out B-Mac.
Vinatieri was great. But did you cross?
I didn't.
Yeah. Okay. The point is, once they go mentally south, they are done. You have to change scenery. You have to send them somewhere else. They're lucky they even took him on the trip yesterday.
Yeah.
And
I was shocked when he walked on the field because I didn't hear about it. I was like,
3 hours before kickoff.
You guys went with Jake Moody?
They elevated him.
Swift said he went up and introduced himself to him in the fourth quarter on the sideline. Like, hey, man, it's good to meet you.
That'd be a tough life being a kicker.
Oh, it's terrible. Okay, so in the end, the shock to me was that the Bears managed to lose this game a little less than the Commanders lost the game. Because I'm with you on that. If it's 3-0, I don't care. Home road, you're just probably going to lose the football game. And yet the Bears were screwing it up all over the field. It was sloppy weather and sloppy football where they had so many stupid penalties, killer penalties that could have lost the game. You know, and then the bust to McCaffrey where you're like, what? You can't do that.
Good play call, but
yeah. And then Swift broke loose with 10 minutes left on a busted play that Caleb, I'm going to talk about it in just a minute when we get to Caleb, but Caleb screwed up the formation. He screwed up the play call and still whips it out in the flat to Swift, and they just miss the tackle. They just completely whiff. It's a tackle. If you're thrust into that situation, you're not going to miss that because it's a game saver. I mean, it's one where you just have to get him on the ground. You at least have to hold on to him until help arrives. And it was a swing and a miss, and he was off to the races, and he showed that's the best I've ever seen him run before. I didn't like him in Detroit. I never liked the look of him, the body language of him. He was locked and loaded last night.
He balled last night.
He was balling in the muck, you know, because it's drizzly and windy and crappy out there. And then the moment, one of the most shocking moments of the football season through 6 weeks is it's 3:07 left, and it's 3rd and 1 at the Chicago 40-yard line, Washington's ball. 3rd and 1, and Jaden lost the handle. And I know it was misty and slippery and all that. He's just one guy. I'm not thinking he's going to lose the handle in that moment because it's a clutch moment where you need to complete the handoff, and you're thinking what I'm thinking. You're thinking it's over. It's just
over after that.
They're just going to go put the final nail in the coffin, right? And he dropped the ball. I was stunned, man, because I thought it was just right on course that Washington was going to win just the way they have won a lot of games. He won a lot of games this way last year.
Yep.
And you dropped the ball, and the Bears are all over it, and it's contagious, man. They've got the fever on creating turnovers on defense.
They do.
And all of a sudden, they're going the other way. And we're going to get to Caleb, but he made 3 or 4 plays in that game that were big-time plays. And I thought he'd made one to Zacchaeus, to your point, but it's another one where you're trying to lose the game. Mm-hmm. Where I can give you 11 plays the Bears screwed up and 12 plays that the home team screwed up, and so the home team lost because they lost it a little bit more than the Bears did, and it was hard to be impressed with either team or either quarterback in the big picture, except in the end, Caleb made a couple throws that we'll get to in just a second here that they impressed me, where even though his QBR wasn't Jaden's QBR, I still thought he was the better quarterback.
Agreed.
In part because he didn't turn the ball over.
Well, let's get into that then. You leave it on that note. Okay, so Caleb Williams, you guys, a controversial guy. You either hate him or you love him, and apparently one of his haters is actually Troy Aikman. Because I don't know if you guys saw, but Chicago fans are so upset with Troy Aikman on the broadcast. Apparently, he was so biased. He was hating on Caleb Williams the whole time. So Chicago fans are out on Troy Aikman as a broadcaster. But that was all over Twitter this morning. I was laughing at it. But Caleb Williams, let's get into it. Because he threw for 252 yards. He had 2 total touchdowns. And he obviously led him to a win. Okay? But Skip's favorite, the QBR. He had a QBR of 37. All right, so Cody, is Caleb Williams the answer in Chicago?
Well, we'll talk about big picture QBR in a second, but yes, he is. He is the answer in Chicago. I've said on this show before, we talked about the Bears when they were 0-2 a couple weeks ago, and I was asked, is Ben Johnson the problem or is Caleb Williams the problem, and do you believe in them? And I still said, there's some issues, but I do believe in them. And I know I was alone in that, but since then, they've just been winning games, and they've been getting better. And I always talked about how Caleb has all the talent in the world. I watched him do it at USC. The talent is there. The arm talent, the athleticism, the ability to play inside the pocket, to play outside the pocket. It's all there. You just have to bring that out of him and allow him to be more consistent. And I've always talked about on the show, too, that when you get to that next level, it's because of the system, the fit, the timing, everything that's around you. Does a team surround you with the guys that you need to be successful? And right now they are with Caleb Williams. But I'll get to Ben Johnson in a second. You mentioned QBR. So far this season, he is 15th in the NFL in QBR. Not great, but it's not bad.
It's not bad.
But we talk so much about his draft class and those 6 quarterbacks in that class. He is second among that list right now. The only one ahead of him is Drake May. Shout out Drake May, by the way. He's been playing some good football.
Yep.
But he is playing better right now than the guys that are in his class these last couple of weeks. And I really believe that he's playing to a higher level than what we've seen from Caleb Williams. But the reason I have so much belief in him and why I think he's the guy is because they've given him something like Ben Johnson. I want to read this quote that he said after the game. And this is very important. I promise you, I've listened to Caleb talk a lot. This carries a lot of weight. After the game, he came out and said about Ben Johnson, he said, I'm excited every single day that I get to wake up and go be coached by him.
Yeah.
We believe in him. We trust him. We want to win for him. Go find one quote where he said that last year about Matt Eberflus. I promise you that you won't, especially towards the end of the year. But now you give him something like Ben Johnson that not only believes in him, but more importantly, Caleb believes in Ben Johnson.
Yep.
And when you have that, it is a difference maker. And it's going to take some more time, and there's going to be some growing pains. And I'm not saying that it's going to happen right now, but I truly believe that Chicago has their quarterback of the future because of how he's playing, but also because of the coach that he has in Ben Johnson. You're going to go ahead.
He's never liked
Troy Aikman, right?
Me and Troy, I know I like Troy Aikman. We on the same page.
Nothing?
He is looking better. He is looking better with Ben Johnson, but it's hard not to look better with Ben Johnson. I said earlier in the show, a month ago, whatever, how many weeks ago, that Ben Johnson is a great leader. He leading the shit out the guys. He definitely got the team believing, and that's where it starts. You know what I'm saying? But what do we mean by the answer? Is he the answer? I mean, if Washington don't fumble, that's another loss for him. As good as he played last night, in your opinion, that's another loss for him. Like, I don't move the baseline on QBR. Like, You talk about total QBR one day and then half QBR and Baker Mayfield QBR, and like the baseline just get moved on his QBR so much.
He's 15th in QBR in the NFL in year 2.
All right.
In year 2. In his class, he's
That
number
is
2.
impressive. I agree.
15th is great, but last night it was a 37.
Mm-hmm.
And the 37 tells me that he didn't have much to do with that win last night. That's what a 37 QBR out of 37 out of 100 tells me it was about as failing as you can get. You know what I'm saying? You ain't had much to do with that win last night. That's what, when I read the QBR, that's what I say. He should have threw a crucial interception, right? With that may have lost the game. If Sandstrom catch that part, that's a loss for you.
Yeah.
You lose the game if he catch that interception, right? QBR probably took that into account.
It did.
This a corner. This a DB dropping a ball that's thrown right to your face. You know what I'm saying? So
Sainris still, yeah.
yeah, I can't pronounce his name.
But I like his game.
Sainris still. I just call him Zero.
Okay.
Hey, I just call him Zero, Skip.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he throw that interception, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? So I just need to see more. Before I call him the answer, I just need to see more. They 3-2. I just need to see more than 3-2. I need to see more of a middle of the pack QBR. I need to see more of a win that you should have lost, in my opinion. So I just need to see more. I can't call him the answer.
You say should have lost, though, but we're
Yeah.
not counting Jaden Daniels' interception. That wasn't a fluke. That was a late throw on a seam route. It was a bad decision with a 2-for-1 corner.
Yep.
You can't make that throw. The safety would have jumped too.
First quarter.
Bill also had another fumble
was.
in that game. The last one, too, wouldn't have mattered if they're not even in contention to win that game. So we could call it a fluke, but still, Chicago had to do things to stay alive. And Caleb didn't make that crucial mistake, and he had some damn good throws from the pocket. That over route.
He threw the ball to the other team's face mask. That's the crucial mistake.
Okay.
That is a crucial. That's not a crucial mistake.
But the context of it,
as a quarterback, would you be happy about that?
I'd be happy that he dropped it. Yeah.
So you would be like, I played great.
I'd say we won the game.
You would be feeling shitty. You'd be like, fuck. I fucked it up again. Luckily, he dropped that pass.
Okay, so if he did that, then they don't win the game, and they don't go out there on that final drive and get 17 yards, even if it is, Swift picked up some big plays.
Exactly. It was Swift.
Still,
it was Swift Swift won the game. Caleb, that's why his QBR say 37, because Swift won that game. You threw a 4-yard out route. Swift broke a tackle and went to the crib. You botched the whole play. Swift made the play a touchdown for you on the play you botched. At the end of the game, you threw an interception. Zero dropped it and saved you again. So the answer, playing better, definitely playing better. Ben Johnson, he gonna have any quarterback you give him, they gonna play better. But the answer in Chicago, I can't give him that yet. I just can't give him that yet. It's too early for me.
I don't hate what you just said. I don't vehemently disagree with any point you just made, anti-Caleb. But I'm still with you barely on this.
Take it.
Only because I was with taking Caleb first overall, and I'm going to stick there even though last year gave me serious doubts because it was hard to watch, man. It was a long, hard year of him getting sacked like 12 times a game. He had, 68 sacks for the year.
Just round it up, going 70.
It was too many, way too many.
Second on that list was C.J. Stroud with 52. So you can just see he's just like a sack machine because he's running around like he did at USC. I'll make a play, I'll make a play, I'll make a play. Not at this level. You won't doing that every single play.
Yeah, I agree.
But this is what got me last night. So it comes down to that final drive. And they get it 1st and 10 at the 44 after the fumble. And Ben Johnson, who I think has been great for Caleb, and I'll get deeper into that in just a moment, but Ben Johnson calls 2 straight runs to Swift, who's cooking, but 2 straight runs where he goes kind of nowhere and nowhere, but he got 2 and he got 3. And I'm like, wait a second, are you trying to win the game or not? Because you've got this vagabond kicker from San Francisco who was, the most hated man in San Francisco, and he should have been because he was just blowing game after game after game. And do you think he can make it from 65 like Brandon Aubrey? He's not going to be, not in the wind and the mist. And you got to try to win the game. You got to make a play. So it becomes 3rd and 5 at the 49. And you have no choice really at that point. You got to put the game in Caleb's hands. And you arguably have 2 plays to get 5 yards,
Yeah,
right? Because you're just going to go for
In
it.
that weather, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think it's 2 plays.
Okay.
I'm taking from there.
All right. But Caleb did something that I wasn't sure he was capable of.
What?
He actually,
What'd he do?
He stood in the pocket and made a throw. He didn't.
Stood in the pocket and
I
threw
know.
the ball 5 yards to
Okay.
a wide-ass open tight end.
He threw it low to him and just, what's his name?
That was great.
Colston Loveland.
Keep going, Skip. Keep
Okay.
going.
All
I'm listening.
Incredible.
Hey,
Yeah, that was incredible.
Hey, you got to know where to go with the ball in that moment with
That was
everything
the
happening.
weakest, softest call Washington could have called.
Okay.
Like they didn't blitz and played a soft. Like what the fuck was that?
Okay.
That was
But
terrible.
He did that when last year he didn't do that. Regularly misfired on that play or ducked and ran and tried to make some crazy play happen. It was textbook Ben Johnson football. I just appreciated it. I watched him a lot last year because I was rooting for me because I said take him. And he was mostly horrible last year. And QBR, he was at the bottom of the barrel last year. He was just horrible. What was he? 28th of 32. Okay, so
Now he in the middle of the barrel.
he's in the middle of the barrel, and he's only been sacked 10 times this year. Like Cam Ward's been sacked 25 times already. So now Cam Ward is Caleb from last year, right? So I think Ben Johnson is saving Caleb's career. And I'll stick with him being the answer in Chicago just because he's so gifted, man. He's got the whole package.
He does.
And he's also got attitude that I like. I think he's a weird dude in some ways. I don't love the nail polish thing and all that, but that's just me. But
Yeah, you are not a fan
Yeah.
of that. You said you lost me in the locker room. You showed
Okay.
up
I
with
don't
nail
even want to
polish.
talk about the nail polish.
okay, well I know. Well, I got
He's
it.
unique, Skip. He's a unique character.
And last night he had like multicolored, it looked like, or something. I'm like, God,
He got fancy for.
okay. He got fancy for Monday night.
Yeah,
Okay,
had
there
to
you
look
go.
good, get his nails done.
All right.
He got fancy last night. bitch.
I do the same for Monday Night Football.
Oh,
Skip, for Skip Bayless to be so proud of a 6-yard stop route by a tight
Hey,
end.
It's if that happens in the first quarter, no, we're not talking about it. But context
this is do or
in
die,
that
man.
moment.
I guess we just look at it different. When that happened,
Okay.
I didn't say, well, that's a great play by Caleb. I said, watch it. What the fuck are y'all in?
Okay, well,
Like,
you said
who
that
does
because you played that position.
Wade
Yeah.
Phillips would never.
Okay,
Like, bro,
well, what do you think when Hunter Renfrow caught a 4-yard pass and beat me the other day because Deron Bland's 15 yards off? Well, seriously. Well,
Yeah, no,
7.
I agree
right.
though, Skip.
Okay.
I'm like,
all right. Well, it's the same.
it just wasn't
Okay.
that impressive.
Okay, but
I feel like I could have done
Okay,
it.
what was Ben Johnson saying the first 2 plays? I'm not going to put the game in my quarterback's
I mean, he
hands
put it
because I don't trust him.
Because who the hot hand? Your quarterback doesn't have a hot hand. I'm gonna put it in the hot hand. See if he could put his foot in the ground and give me a 12-yard carry,
All right.
get this thing going. That's the hot hand. My quarterback definitely don't got the hot. He got the nice hand. He got the nice nails. He don't got the high hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in the high hand.
Yeah.
So, I get why he done it. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I don't get the defensive call
I
by
understand.
Washington on 3rd down and 6. You just I'm like, I don't know. It's 12 personnel. That's 12 personnel make me feel like, oh, we really could heat his ass up.
Yeah.
could.
And you want to knock him out of field goal range.
Yeah, I want to knock
get
him
it,
out
but
of field goal range. Like, what are we doing here? I don't-
Okay.
As a quarterback,
We
they
want
didn't run it. I got to still go make the play.
We want him
and
to
adjust
try to
the
move
look.
around. We know what he do. How do
Okay.
Caleb fuck up the game?
But my
he
bar-
move around and do all this shit.
Yeah. From
When is he
last
gonna
year,
do that?
my
When he
bar
see
is
the
so
rest?
low for him.
That's fair.
I get it.
He made a
There
play.
we go, Skip, because the bar is so low.
Okay,
He
well-
made a play. I knew it was something.
Well,
I knew it was
my
something.
God, that was impressive. Where I said
It was.
Caleb did a real quarterback thing.
He did a real quarterback
Yeah,
thing
right?
through a fucking 6-yard hitch.
Okay, well he did.
Man,
It's-
he's been doing better quarterback things. That was not. You can't just look.
All
at
right,
that.
so we got Aqib, Talib, and Troy
Okay.
Aikman. They hate Caleb Williams.
Yeah, and one other point.
It's a club now. Join the club.
After the game, he showed me some rare humility with what he was talking about Ben Johnson. He called him a mastermind.
He did.
Yep.
And he talked about how he'll call a play in my ear and say, "This is a great play call."
Yep.
Okay? Nobody ever says that. I'll bet you no play caller has ever told you in your ear, "This is a great play call." They just call the play and they do it with conviction so that you believe it.
Normally,
Wade done that
Yeah.
one time.
normally
Did
you
he?
get reminders though. So I'd be like, hey, Let's go this
Yeah,
play.
like, dude,
Remember cover 4, you have
So
your
he
alert
really
back
telling them,
side.
don't
Or
change
man-to-man.
the play. That's what he telling them.
Exactly.
This is a great play call, so don't change this shit.
Okay, maybe.
That's what he really
Maybe.
telling them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Don't check
But
out.
Wade did that before, though. Wade did that before. They lined up in something. The Chiefs, they lined up in I form. We knew they was running Miami pass play action hitches, right?
Yeah.
But
For whatever reason, look, it was a timeout or whatever it was. So we went to the sideline. I'm like, wait, they gonna come out line up in the same shit. Call a trap so I can sit on it. Wade like, we gonna call zero coverage. I'm like, wait, then I'm gonna have to play us off. He said, bro, drop your nuts. This is a great play call. I said, all right, Wade.
Great play.
And they came out, they did the same.
I know,
He
but
called
you're-
zero, and I dropped my nuts and I picked it off.
Did you?
Hey,
Wow.
Wade.
I
hey,
dropped
my nuts, like you said, and I
Okay.
didn't get out of there on zero. I stood there, picked off the hitch.
So
Always
is he in your ear at that
I
point?
mean, we went to the sideline.
you went to the sideline.
It was
Okay, I
a
couldn't
dead
hear.
ball for whatever
Okay,
reason.
okay, I got it.
And I went to the sideline, and I told him, like,
Okay.
they finna run this Miami pass. Like, call the coverage, call zebra, what we used to call it. Call a zebra so I could sit on that shit and pick it.
Yeah.
He said, I'm gonna call whatever our zero coverage
Yeah.
was. He called it an all-out blitz. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck, bro? He said, bro, this is a great play call.
Okay, but
Drop
he's
your nuts and
he's
pick it.
defending himself. He's not trying to encourage you. He's
Well,
just saying he's
he
telling
told me
you
it was a great play call.
Okay, but he's saying you're going to run this whether you like it or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's what he
that
told.
does matter, though, Skip, to your point. As a
Yeah.
quarterback, you hear that, you go, hell,
Ooh.
like, confidence.
Ooh.
Let's go. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I agree.
He really just telling him, don't change the fucking play, Caleb. Don't do too much. Like, this is a great play call. It's going to work.
Just do
don't
it.
change it. Just do it.
Okay, 70% of the chat says Caleb is the answer
Wow.
for
1-1.
Chicago.
Let's
the
go.
chat also
Let's
is
go, chat.
Because that
We got a lot
bar's
of
so
Chicago
low.
fans in the
Yeah.
Bar been so low for so long.
the chat also says you look like a baby seal. I don't know if you want to know that.
A baby seal?
Damn. Whoever said that in the chat, take their ad. Email me their ad. 'Cause I got some
That's
jokes
Gil,
now.
hey, that's Gil on
I'll
burner.
fire that motherfucking ass up. Like, just make sure we know who that is.
Okay, we're gonna get that in.
I'm gonna tell them what they look like, and I'm gonna tell them what that bank account look like too. If they broke ass.
Ooh.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
I like
get
it.
into some drama. Okay, so the Dolphins. The Dolphins are starting the season 1-5, and Tua, the leader of the team, has some things to say. So let's go ahead and check that out for a second.
Well, I think it starts with the leadership in helping articulate that for the guys, and then what we're expecting out of the guys, right? We're expecting this. Are we getting that? Are we not getting that? We have guys showing up to player-only meetings late, guys not showing up to player-only meetings. Like, there's a lot that goes into that. Do we have to make this mandatory? Do we not have to make this mandatory? So it's a lot of things of that nature that we got to get cleaned up, and it starts with the little things like that.
To be clear, you're saying some players were late or missed?
Late, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mike McDaniel has a response to Tua, and he said, not the forum to air his concerns. So, Cody, you're a quarterback. You've led a team. Did you like this or not from Tua calling out his teammates publicly like that?
I did not. And I think you could tell when they followed up on the question, he went, yeah, like he knew I probably shouldn't have said that. And that's one of those things, post-game press conference, when you just lost and the emotions are high and you start saying some stuff like that doesn't need to be said. I don't mind player-only meetings. I think there's a time and a place. I've been a part of some of them. Those are necessary to where you can get in there and call each other out and say, hey, we've got to get some things fixed without the coaching staff in there, so you can just sit there as long as you need to be to get everything handled. But those aren't mandatory. You should be there, you should be on time, but they're not mandatory. And if a guy is late and misses that, there is no reason as a starting quarterback that you should go tell the media about this, because all you're doing is adding a distraction to your football team and you're making a bad situation worse. And now that's all that's going to be talked about for the following week. Is they're going to go around the media wheel and say, was it you? Who was it? What do you think about Tua said? As a quarterback, eliminate distractions. You can't be the distraction. What he should have said is he gets up there, like he already did, and just kept it at, hey, I threw 3 picks. I wasn't good enough. I didn't play good enough. We can be better as a team. We can do this. We can do that. But to get up there and say the leadership on this team, you're the leader, by the way. You are the leader. So the leadership on this team needs to be better. Then you got to look in the mirror because you have to be better as a leader. Look, I'm rooting for Tua. I like him. I've always been rooting for him. But this, to me, was out of line. This is something that you go in the locker room and call that guy over and say, hey, man, What the hell? Like, you got to be there at that meeting. What happened? We've got to be accountable. We've got to be there at the same time. You handle this within the facility, within the organization. You handle this behind closed doors. You don't do that and go air it out in front of everybody and call someone out.
I thought it was very lame.
Yeah.
I thought it was one of the lamest things you can do. You know what I'm saying? It's the best thing he said was it's a leadership problem. Like, and Tua, like you said, he's one of the leaders. Mike McDaniels, you one of the leaders. You know what I'm saying? So guys don't respect the two of them. That's why guys are late. That's why guys are not coming. Tua, you calling me and I don't respect you, bro. Hey, hold your fucking meeting. I ain't going to be there.
He called the meeting.
Yeah, you called the meeting. You know what I'm saying? You mad at you called the meeting and guys ain't come. Whoever, the one guy or two guys you was talking to, he wasn't talking to everybody. He was talking to one guy or two guys. You know what I'm saying? And they don't respect you. That's why they're late or that's why they no-show. So running to the media about it is the worst thing you can do because now that guy respects you even less.
Yeah.
He don't fuck with you even more. You know what I'm saying? So what you supposed to do is, like Cody said, you just tell that dude, like, bro, you not coming to that meeting, you tell him how it affects the team.
Yeah.
You tell that dude, right, the communication that we talked about in that meeting would have helped us in the game and maybe show him, like, look, we had a bus on this play. If you would have been at the meeting, we'd have been better on this play. You know what I'm saying? Just go to him directly, man, and things like this just don't happen under Bill Belichick and Tom Brady-led teams, under Kubiak and Peyton Manning-led teams, under Sean McVay and Stafford-led teams, because them guys are great leaders. So you get two bad leaders like McDaniels and Tua, and you make them the leaders of the team, shit like this happen. You know what I'm saying? So both of those guys will be out of here next year, man. It's a shit show in Miami.
It is.
Both of them guys will be, you had two new leaders at the head coach and at the quarterback spot in Miami next year.
You were really blessed and spoiled to play for those three.
Oh, man, it was like a movie.
Hey.
It was like a movie, Skip.
My God.
It was like a movie, man.
That's a beautiful thing because you were in three great places.
Great.
At the right time.
And then the D coordinators too, though, Skip. Don't leave out like Raheem Morris, Wade Phillips. Like it was crazy.
Well, Bill Belichick is a coordinator.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. I'm going to triple down on this. I've been out on Tua since before he was drafted, and I blasted the Dolphins for taking him 5th overall because this is what, you're just going to be stuck with Tua. I still say if Dillon Gabriel ever gets his shot, he'll end up being a little better than Tua, and they're the same guy to me, both from a Y, both left-handed, both undersized, both underarmed. But this is hitting bottom. You had just thrown 3 interceptions, and you just lost a football game to fall to 1-5, and you're going to make "don't blame me" comments to the media. You're going to say, don't look at me. You're going to plant excuses by saying, well, guys aren't showing up to the meetings or they're late to the meetings. You called the meetings. They're players only. They're not mandatory from the head coach. And you nailed it dead on the head. This is the team saying to Tua, this is a lot of veteran players saying, I ain't showing up for that.
Right.
If you called it, I'm not coming. It's actually, he's actually disqualifying himself publicly by admitting that players are not showing up on time or showing up at all to the meeting you called.
Good point.
Right.
Okay, you're out on the quarterback the way they're probably out on the head coach. And then the head coach called out his quarterback by saying that when you lose, people are always looking for reasons for failure to succeed or just for failure. So he's saying that Tua is trying to point the finger here instead of here.
Can't do that.
And he's just not good enough. And he was always hurt at Alabama, and there's the old saying, hurt in college, if you limp into the pros, you sort of limp through your career in pro football. And I respect him because, remember, the whole world said you got to retire after that Buffalo game early last year on, Thursday night when he went into the fencer position, where he got hit so hard and concussed, where he's just locking up, going fetal. And everybody said, you got to stop. And I said, well, if his family wants to do it, and they've done their homework on this, and he's good with the potential risk of this, then play football. I mean, there's no law against it, and so he's playing. God bless him for that, but I just never thought he was good enough. And to your point, they're all on the way out, and it was just weak of the quarterback to stoop to that. And he also knows they had issues with real team meetings last year, going back to Jalen Ramsey. That's one reason he's not there. And Tyreek, and God bless him and his recovery, he's not there because he got hurt. So it's just, you know what it is? I think it's just typical Tua. It's part and parcel of what's wrong with the whole organization, right?
And I agree with Aqib. I think everyone's on their way out, well, especially McDaniel and Tua. But the problem with that for Tua is all right, it didn't work out at Miami, fine. But you are going to get a chance elsewhere. I think he will, because you're a first-round pick. Those guys get opportunities. I don't know if he'll go somewhere to be a starter, but he'll get a chance maybe for a team that needs two guys to compete to be a bridge guy before they draft someone else. But teams are going to see that now, and more importantly, players are going to see that and go, I don't want that guy as my quarterback. I don't want that guy as my leader.
Point.
I'm not going to go to battle for that guy. If he's going to call me out and point the finger elsewhere, and he's not a guy that takes accountability, I don't want to play for him. So even though it's not working in Miami right now, you've got to be, you got to focus on your second act. What's going to happen after this? What might be my next team? Where am I going to go? And they're going to see all this stuff, although it's a thing that you said in a quick press conference after the game, that's on tape forever. And that's going to follow you around. And when things start going bad, people are going to use that and say, well, we know Tua can't be a leader, so it's got to be him. So I hate it all the way around. I think you guys said it great. It's just, it can't happen, especially as a quarterback.
Well, actually, 80% of the chat said they actually lost respect for Tua. So, yeah, I think he's on his way out. Everybody is going to be a rebuild for Miami. So I want to end the show with something a little different today, a little spicy from Underdog. So it's time for the Underdog of the day. So you can do this on the Underdog app, but we're going to do it here. So the poll is live right now, so make sure you guys go and vote. But I want to take a look at the list right now. So, Aqib, who is standing out to you on who is the underdog of the week for you?
Easy work. Rico Dowdle.
Really?
Easy work. He told you what he was going to do. He told y'all, hey, y'all better buckle up.
He did say that.
Wreck the shit out this game.
How good do you have to feel after talking shit and then
he did it running. He did it receiving.
He did.
And they won the game. So that's easy work for me.
I can't pick anybody who destroyed my Cowboys.
Yeah, fair.
This is a runaway for me. It's Scatterboo. Scatterboo. Yeah, it's just he and obviously his quarterback. They're the same guy. They are. They're
two running backs.
They are. They're two running backs. And Scatterboo has brought life to New York City, electricity.
Yeah.
He's running through brick walls. He's scratching. He's clawing. He's playing over his helmet football, and he's the underdog of the week by far to me.
Yeah, I'm doubling down on that.
All right.
I got Scatterboo also. Shout out to Scatterboo, man. He's just
no Baker.
He's fun to watch.
Yeah, but
I just knew Skip was going to go back.
I didn't see underdog
He's the
for
MVP.
Baker.
Baker's been doing it over and over.
That was a crazy
How can
clip.
the MVP be an
And
underdog?
I already gave love to Jake Moody. No, I got to give love Kim Scatterboo.
I ain't really read into the underdog. I just thought they meant the best player of the week. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right.
I still go Rico though. Underdog.
You're not wrong.
You're gonna
He's a good player.
okay.
But yeah, I'm going
Kinsey's
Scatterboo.
picking Jake Moody.
I will never pick Jake Moody, so I'm going to have to say Rico Dowdle because I picked him up in fantasy last week.
Did?
Oh yeah.
And he got me 40 points.
You had
What a move.
So now, of course, I'm playing him this week because he's playing, they're playing the Bills. They got no pass.
No.
He had
Right,
another
so-
150.
I'm going to get some points on Rico Dowdle.
Did you win your league?
Last
She
week,
won her
right?
game
Are
for
you
sure.
kidding me? Of
Like
course.
wiped it out?
Yeah. looking good. I'm not actually doing good this season, but we'll see. I got a couple other leagues. That's why you got multiple.
You just got Rico, see what I'm saying? So yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, then we are going to wrap it here. Just to remind you, we are going to be live on Friday this week instead of Thursday.
Way to go.
Woo, woo. So give us a game to talk about. We've got the Bengals Steelers on Thursday.
Yep.
So wonder what's going to happen there. We'll find out on Friday when we are back on this couch at 11:30 a.m. PST. So we will see you guys there. Thank you so much for watching.
Way to go.